Oh.
Won't let it show. So if you care to find me, look towards the western sky. As someone told
A
me.
study on the best ways to convey information. But it literally, I think it would probably take more than one research. Mainly because.
All right, guys, thank you for your patience.
Looking for it, it was only like, oh,
I press record already.
or showing me like
Seriously?
Canva websites.
All right, well, Royal already got us recording, so we are ready for our Shareout one, guys. Thank you.
Okay. So contents, the challenge, and then research our ideas and next steps. Okay.
Yeah, this is a challenge. It's a great thing to help Jake and Mitchie teach sarcoma patients about survival statistics because the current information pamphlets that they have don't include survival statistics, which tells patients whether they will live or die or the likeliness in between.
Okay, and your research. So my research, mostly my research was, I just looked online at any type of like cancer education information, like websites and like printable like papers and stuff like that. And over the multiple cancer education plans I found online, they share one thing in common. They usually don't have visuals, and it's very wordy and can get boring to read because they're like usually like 2 pages long, so just words without pictures and everything. It's just like a lot of words. And if they are pictures, they're usually aren't very like relevant to the topic at hand. They'll be like random stock images of like a patient on the cover or something. And it's like, what does that help me? That's helping with anything. So I just said like it's not really helpful for patients who might need visuals that clearly visualize what's going on in their bodies.
So I did some initial research on sarcoma survival rates, and the information I found was based on like 3 different like stages and types, and then the 5-year survival rate for each one. And then I also thought it was important to like some like the bulk was fun. Like I just thought it was important to like also like share that the statistics are estimates and that the survival rates change depending on several factors.
I looked into a study on the net survival rate from a study for the World Health Organization, and this was from 2005-2010, and it showed a lot like it varied depending on what type of sarcoma the patient had.
Do you have any conclusions about that data, Emma, or?
Not really. The paper was like really wordy itself, and there's like 12 different sarcomas listed.
So this would be really challenging for someone to navigate who'd just been diagnosed.
Yeah.
Okay. My research mainly focused on things that people wish they would have done or wish they would have known. So I went to cancer.net, and they have this section where it's blogs of cancer survivors or people going through cancer, through having cancer. So like some of the things that I saw mainly was like, oh, I wish I would have known to make healthy habits when it comes to like the mental health aspect of you just got told this life-altering thing, and then you have to kind of figure out how to navigate after that. So I was just basically looking at what are the if, ands, or buts that they would have done if they would have known sooner or things like that.
So you went, this is really cool. You went to is this like a Reddit style setup where it's like people can post individual things?
Yeah, so this is the website, it's cancer.net. So this person did like, get a regular checkup and act on systems quicker. Choose a doctor and a medical team you trust. Trust a treatment partner. Make a recovery plan for after treatment. So like mainly just talking about, if I'm going through radiation, I didn't know my body would feel this way. So they get told all the side effects, but they don't know how to navigate after that. And they mainly talk about like the doctors that came in before said, oh yeah, they go to Google, but like they want to not have to go to Google and to know like this is a side effect and this is what you can do if it happens type of thing. they were like, write everything you know about cancer and like talk to someone who specializes in cancer. So not only the people who are supposed to be healing you, but the people who study it and can give you answers rather than a doctor without the smile and wave. So another thing that I thought was very important was it was manage what information you take in, because not all cancers are the same, and when you go to Google, it'll give you a bunch of everything, and kind of going to the specialist again and trying to see like this is the filter that you should be looking for, your age group, your diet, things that can affect you. So I was mainly just looking at like if you had questions for the doctor that day or throughout your cancer experience that you didn't get answered, what would you have done? And this pretty much like just gave me personas and told me exactly what I needed to find.
Interesting.
And ideas. So 3 initial ideas. So we have infographic, a very well illustrated design demonstrating the types of cancer statistics as well as any other key information that should be included to make patients just more aware of what type of cancer they have, the survival rates of their type of cancer, and side effects, things that go into play there. A website, we could use a Google website or a Wix to make a website, like basically like put both. Actually, if we, let's backtrack. Okay, infographic, right? I said that. Educational video, we could make a actual video with built-in visuals that are as fun as they are engaging, and that both of those could also link to a website. Make a website and do both of those, and then have like multiple different types of media at hand for people to look at to find out what they need to know. So yeah.
We want to look more into statistics research and then like start thinking about like what we want, like what are the specifics of like our final deliverable.
Yeah. Another thing I was thinking about was looking for like what are ways that people learn. Like I tried to do research on that initially when I was trying to figure out what people wish they would have known, but they kind of was like, oh, use Canva, use PowerPoint. So it was a little harder to find like ways that people can like get very complex information kind of like more simplified and understanding. One of the things I did find, and I don't remember which website this is, but they were saying mainly taking through like me looking at what they wish they would have done before, looking through that and seeing what kind of language they use when it comes to the media types they use, who they talk to, if they're talking about pictures or writings, things like that, and kind of going from that and making my own data. So yeah.
Interesting. Can you guys go back to your ideas? So I see infographic, website, educational video. These are pretty broad. I'm curious, what would make these better? Right? You're talking about an infographic, which would be presumably given to them in some way. What are the things you're going to do to try to make sure that these are better than the already existing methods of information presentation?
Well, from what I've seen, I haven't really seen any type of like actual like infographics being like sent to patients. Like usually it's just like, yeah, look at these, like you got random, like you have like random photos. Wait, is it cancer?
This is, yeah, the gathering place is like a cancer.
I just want to make sure. I don't want to say something that's not the one.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Cancer specific programs. They do like survivor groups and stuff like that.
Like they have, like, yeah, see, just like a whole bunch of words, just pictures of people and things like that. So I think an infographic, I feel like you'd be more like creative with that. You put a lot of color, actually have like graphs that represent what's going on inside your body, like how that can affect your chances of survival. Less words, more emphasis on keywords, if you know what I mean. Emphasis on keywords.
I also think when it comes to an infographic, being able to not only just give them I think like they want more specific, am I going to live through this? What do I need to do? Can I stop it? What can I do type of things? Looking at like some of the not reviews, but like some of the experiences of cancer patients. I think like an infographic, mainly just highlighting this is this graph, this is how you read it, and this is the answer to your question kind of thing. Like they're never gonna get a yes or no type of answer when it comes to something as complex as cancer. But when it does come to reading a graph, like teaching someone to read a graph and trying to figure out how to teach that if we're not going to be there talking to them.
So that's an interesting point. I'm curious to hear where you guys are feeling about this. I know we are like right up on lunchtime, and everybody's hungry and tired, but question for this last little bit. A question I would have for you guys is, are you more interested in presenting information that already exists? Or are you more interested in doing something that teaches them how to navigate information themselves? Not one or the other is better, but I'm just curious because I'm hearing from you, Anaya, that you're saying that like we could show them how to read graphs, right? Are you more interested in giving them statistics and information in a more palatable and absorbable way, or are you interested in creating something that helps them learn to navigate information themselves?
Honestly, I think we can do both. I feel like we can do that as well as just like having something that like here this is how you can read this graph. Like maybe if we did an infographic when we have a graph, we can like put a caption that says like if you want to understand this graph, you first have to like blah 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 blah. This part is this part means that, and then if you do that,
I think the
Give
problem with
instructions.
some of the information that they're giving out now is like you're shoving a graph in someone's face and like not knowing the level of which they're already learning. I don't think there's a problem with the graphs. I just think they're missing a step of being able to teach them,
Yeah.
or being able to clearly kind of like convey how to do this thing. So like if we were, I would probably say we'd have to do both if we're going to be doing the first step of showing them. Like you have to teach them how to read it too.
I would write that down. That's a really great perspective, and maybe if you are presenting this to them, ultimately that's the big thing you think about, like showing and illustrating that this is a missing step in this process, is that you're assuming people will understand by looking at this what this information means, and you can't assume that. So what do you guys want to try to find out more to help you do that? Like what kinds of things are you going to research? What other cancer institutes have done, what people do in other countries, ways that people try to teach graphs? Like what are you going to do to find out more to help you accomplish that task?
I think mainly when I look into things of like trying to make something very nationwide, like when you don't know everyone and everyone's background, is to mainly see what they're doing in very different places. So like what someone's doing in like Britain versus somewhere on the other side of the world, like seeing, because I think like from a wide spectrum, if you're looking on a macro level, then you're trying to see this is this and this is this, and these ways are very different. So something similar then is probably working in more than just this small little community.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, so you have some ideas of where to go to next. From me, what would be some things that would be helpful to learn in the more like traditional teaching setting that we do sometimes? Like are there things that would be helpful for you guys to learn more, like we've been doing the cell talk stuff? Is there specific topics that you guys would want to learn more to help you navigate all this information?
I think you as a teacher, we could use some information.
Go what?
I think you as a teacher, we could use some information, like why you choose some of the graphics you choose type of thing. I think like learning from, like we're trying to teach, we're like on the simplest terms, trying to take the role of being able to teach other people how to navigate, which like you as a teacher is also teaching us how to navigate. And also I think another really good connect we could do from this is Dr. Teed, because she works with a lot of sciences and graphics, and our last challenge was with sciences and graphics.
Yeah. Would you guys want to set up a conversation with her for your team?
I think it would be a good idea. What do you guys think? I'm talking a lot.
I was just gonna say, maybe we could do like, I don't know, maybe like, instead of like general cell talk, we could do like more specific and get out like, we can do like each day we do like a small little lesson of like a specific type of cancer, and then we just go like, oh, it's that cancer. Another day, we do one cancer, and we have limits for each type of cancer, and then like all the graphs and stuff, everything that goes along with that. Then we have multiple different types of cancers that we can choose from, and like pick which ones we want to like teach people how to read the graphs for and things like that. So
More types of cancer. Interesting. Elizabeth and Emma, anything you guys would like to learn more about? I've been asking every group this.
I like
Do we have to base it on sarcoma itself? Because he said a lot about sarcoma and like the child delivery, like.
That is what they treat. So I would think about what do you want to have for them at the end of the day. I'm not going to take it as you have to choose sarcoma specifically. There's going to be information from other cancers that will be useful no matter what. And like, how specific do you want this to be where Jake and Michi could like use it? That would be a thing I would think about too. They were saying with sarcoma that it's really broad. There is no just one, exact thing. It's all over the body. There's different survival rates for different parts of the body and different side effects for different parts of the body. So it would probably be fine with it being broad, but I would think about, whether leukemia information would be something they could use, for example, if that makes sense. Are there other things you guys can think about that you would want to learn more about in class? That was already, you're all good.
oh wait, we can learn about since you talk about body, like the differences in body, we can talk about how drastically different cancer can develop from certain parts of your body. We talk about what happens if it develops from the heart first, then from like the liver, and then from like the stomach. And it's like how different cancer and different parts of the body affect,
Right, different cell specifications lead to different cancers. Yeah, I will do my best. This is a lot of information, but I think I can weave this in. People are trying to, in general, find out more about causes and treatments. That's a big, what makes cancers happen? How do you deal with them? What different types are there? Do you guys want to try to set up a meeting with Dr. T if you would like? Just take a moment to figure that out. If you'd like to, I can make that happen. She would totally talk with you guys. I think it would be really interesting.
Yeah, same. And she also works with like different patterns, and when it comes to something like, these are all the side effects of every single possibility of cancer versus these are the most likely side effects, but these are also some side effects if it was to go in these type of different places. I think she would be a really good person as well too.
Listen, I love that idea. Let me know tomorrow. I'll check back in and we'll see if that's something you guys want to try to set up. We should probably get going, but any last questions for me?
Yeah.
All right, I'm interested to see where you guys zoom in on. Can I answer this question?